discourse like this is where it all started today. And that's what we're trying to bring back to Island Club. We are starting today, and I know this will still generate so much discussions going forward, because it's a matter of unity. I just want to say something about this Trump tariff. We might not know how it's working for us, but Trump tariff is working for Nigeria. Anything from China going to America now attracts 35%. Are you all aware that Chinese are coming to Shagamu now to establish factory because they want to be shipping out from Nigeria to go to America for 14%? If you are in the market, people that sells land around Shagamu, you know what I'm talking about. Every day, I got this news that the Nigerian embassy in China, if you see the number of people that are applying for visas to come to Nigeria, you will marvel. Because they want to escape the 35%, they want to come to Nigeria, manufacture here and ship to America and pay 14%. And that is working for us. We might not see it now, but in the near future, all these things will be good for Nigeria. And I don't want to take the fourth lecture. I just want to thank you all for coming. We appreciate you. We look forward to have you here again very soon, because topical issues like these are things that are bringing forward through our diplomatic group. And on behalf of Island Club,
on behalf of the chairman of Island Club, Dr. Martin, the one and only best elector of Lagos, the Jagmuru of Wukindom, the Baba of Boasidi. This is because I start counting the frequency titles, we won't be able to like the world. And the members of the management committee, in conjunction with the diplomatic group, we enthusiastically thank our everyday guest speaker, Professor Egosa Osaga, and our Baba himself, General Senator Ike Oma Sanda Uwachuku, CFR Emena. I want to say this thank you all the languages too. Nagode, Dalu, Uruese. And I want to thank all the sister clubs here present. Batteries Club, Lagos Country Club, Ikeja Club, and Ikoyi Club, and the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club. There's another group here. I think my chairman will say that.
Well, we have the past ambassadors who are also here. We want to thank them for coming. Ambassador Mrs. Koga, the former High Commissioner to Jamaica, and our representative in the Maritime Organization International. And also, we also a prominent member of ACA. We also want to thank Ambassador Mrs. Odupe Irene Nibode Thomas. Was Nigerian ambassador to France, and also later in Hungary. I must mention one specific thing that this lady did. When Nigerians were moving out of Ukraine, she was then in Hungary. She was the one that helped Nigerians pass through the boundary from Ukraine to Hungary and then to Nigeria. warmly welcome Ambassador Mrs. Irene. You can continue.
Well, we thank you all. Before I drop the microphone, I think we have our fathers here. They were here as landlords. From there, they became the grandfather of the Island Club. That is to say, the trustees of the prestigious Island Club. I want to start with architect. Sir Chief Michael Olumiwa Palomo, GCOP. Chief Olatunde Aluko. Sir Chief Olatunde Aluko, GCOP. And Chief Olufemi Adeniyi Gulen, JP, GCOP. And to all our past and my brother-in-law, a trustee of the club, Chief Omobolao Awe, FCA. And to our past vice chairman present from the Dean of Vice Chairman, Barrister S.O. Jegede. The Royal Prince himself, Prince Adelano Adeshida. And to my brother from Shiun, Otumba Nika Shobule.
So I also want to thank this young man. He's a workaholic. He works night and day. Thanks to him, I'm trying to make him an ambassador. If I have him, Ambassador of Ireland. So it's a fun copy. Thank you very much for your opinion. While we're about to leave, another colleague, the Accounts Committee, Ambassador Korede Willoughby. I saw him in the crowd. He's also a prominent member of the Island Club. But one thing that we always look at protocol, because Island Club has a very rich protocol. One of the first outings was that we looked at the protocol and ethics. And you can see nobody amongst all of us has said all protocols observed. We don't say that in Island Club. Neither do we say that in the diplomacy. All protocols observed. Which protocols are we observing? So once again, we want to thank you all for coming. It's been a very pleasant evening. And we hope next time that we call again, you will honor us with your presence. Thank you very much.
Island Club with ethnic other people is for truth and dignity. Island Club is for fellowship. It's interracial, it's for comradeship. Island Club, Island Club. Is Nigeria's premier club. 3 cheers for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Hear me? Hear me? Hear me? 3 cheers for the Lagos State Center of Excellence. Hear me? Hear me? Hear me? 3 cheers for our Premier Social Club. Hear me? Hear me? Hear me? Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you all. Thank you.
Majesty, our friends from the uniform side of our country. It's a great day at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs as we open a new chapter in the history of this institute. For the first time since 1961, when this institute was founded, we have a singular honor and privilege of having in our midst today the Governor of Lagos State. This is not only the first distinguished lecture for 2025, it's also the first distinguished lecture by a 7th governor of Lagos State. We are indeed very delighted that this is happening in our time, and you're all witnesses to history. So when you leave here, having heard all that His Excellency will tell us today, you would be happy ever after, because you are witnesses to very rare history. Your Excellency, the projections of a world power, that is what you're going to talk to us about. It is not often remembered or even thought of that Lagos is a world power. There are very few world powers, and Lagos ranks very high on that list. Today, with a population in excess of 22 million, Lagos qualifies and has the merit of being Africa's growth center. And I was saying to His Excellency a while ago, there is something we haven't celebrated as much as we should be doing. In 1996, the city of Johannesburg had as a byline, Africa's commercial capital. And I wondered at that time if the people in Johannesburg knew what Lagos was. But thank God they have since found out for themselves that Lagos is unparalleled in Africa. And you will soon see why. But let me just tell us a few things. There are 5 cities in the world that are called Lagos. 3 are very prominent. One is in Portugal, another is in Greece. There is one that has an alliance in Benin Republic next door to us. And in the Philippines, you also have a Lagos. But of all these 5, the one that gives all the others the bearing that they have is Eko, our own Lagos. Now, I was telling His Excellency that there's something we haven't celebrated as much. Lagos is your typical, your archetypical mother city. What's a mother city? A mother city is the hub of civilization. It's the one that serves as a receptacle for enterprise, commerce, economic growth, for culture, and it is a melting pot. In South Africa, they like to refer to Cape Town as a mother city. I have also said to them, you don't know what Lagos represents. This is Nigeria's melting pot, and it's been so. That's the origin of Lagos. Lagos is a port city. Lagos is a culture city. Lagos is the heartbeat of the soft power of Nigeria. Just think of it. The Maracana Stadium in Ajegunle has produced world beaters, all of them across the globe, in all sports. The great Hakeem Olajuwon cut his teeth here in Lagos. So this is what Lagos means. Today, Nigeria is celebrated everywhere for its creative arts, for its music industry, for Nollywood, for all the great things that people like to diminish. but these are the strengths of Lagos. These are the things that Lagos has always done, and Lagos is going to do a lot more. Now, it is not often remembered, I was saying to my Lord, that Lagos is also the foundation of Nigeria's judiciary. And one of the reasons we have Lagos so vibrant is the strength of its judiciary. Think what Lagos has also done in the last couple of years. Lagos pioneered the alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, the multi-court house. That's Lagos. Lagos also introduced special offenses, including sex offenses courts. That is second to none. So if you've been thinking of an effective judicial system, Lagos has led the way. Nigeria's civil society has found its place in Lagos. Think of all of the activists, all of the guys that drove Nigeria's democratization process. All those who pioneered those things and laid down their lives and made those unbelievable sacrifices. They were all in Lagos. But Lagos is a heartbeat for something else that you haven't considered. It's not just the commercial capital of Africa. It's a commercial hub for the entire universe of humanity. The Nigerian private sector, which has taken the world by storm, is Lagos-based. Think of all the great, great, great names in our private sector. All of those people that are making the world different, from the refineries that have been established, to the entrepreneurial drives that they have had, to the big banks that we were reminded, those of us who had the occasion to meet with the Foreign Affairs Minister last Friday, the systems that run African finances come from Nigerian banks, and they all come from Lagos. So, Lagos is the heartbeat that a global power has. But most of all, Lagos has been the most blessed of all old states in Nigeria with the best forms of leadership. I'm sure that if you count back and look at what Lagos has achieved over the years, you cannot but recognize that at the core of all that Lagos has achieved is good leadership. So today, when we talk about governance and the challenges and how we are going to surmount them, we know that Lagos leads the way, and Lagos is the master of our destiny. And let me gladly tell us that today, just today, His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, has accepted our invitation, and you're going to have a rapturous applause after this, accepted our invitation to endow at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs a foreign policy school. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Beginning very soon, you'll be welcome to H.E. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu Great Endowment. Thank you, sir. Now, I know there will be the time for the citation, but you know, our governor is our father here. And he only does things that fathers do. He's very fair-minded, he's just in all of his ways, and he has done for Lagos what no other person has done. Let me tell you why. This year, ECOWAS was 50. And we had the reenactment of the Treaty of Lagos that established ECOWAS in 1975. It happens only when blessed people are in power. So God has blessed you. Now, in 1961, when the founding fathers of the NIA met, and they said, what do we want to get? They said, we want an institute that is unparalleled in world history. It is true that this institute has been midwifed by the Royal Institute for International Affairs, which is known as Chatham House. But it is equally true that we have also led Chatham House along paths that were not thought of before. The good thing is that the UK is here. So together with Chatham House, we have defined the agenda for the world. The world is changing, as you all know. And Lagos has the anchor to drive Nigeria to take its rightful place in the evolving world that we are getting into. It's going to be a world where Africa is no longer going to be relegated. Africa is going to be at the center of the universe. Africa is going to be at the center of prosperity. The African young minds, the resilient, very productive, and intelligent young people will drive the new world. Now, all over the world, you see that in areas that were never contemplated. And therefore, you would see it takes time. Every transition has its pangs of birth, but we would come back to it. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a celebration of Lagos. Because imagine and think ahead. In 2030, see where the world will be because Lagos has undertaken to lead us. It is in that regard that I thought we should challenge our governor to say, you have taken Lagos all around. Things are working here. So project, as a world power into 2030. Where would we be? The other day we saw, experimental flights on air taxis. Maybe Lagos will take over from Kigali for air taxis, and we will be there. We have seen the pharmaceutical industry. It's great, but Lagos is the hub. And it is said that the pharmaceutical industry in Africa is controlled nearly half of the way by the pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria. And the hub of that pharmaceutical industry is Lagos. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I cannot be more pleased to let you know that we, as the NI, feel so very highly honored that you have all come here and that we are going to have the very first distinguished lecture for 2025 and the very first by a governor of Lagos. On behalf of the chairman of the Governing Council, Professor Bolade Akinyemi, and the management, staff, directors, all of us, research fellows at the Institute, we welcome all of you and thank you for honoring our invitation and the invitation of
occasion. I call it historic because we are getting into the realization to apply our thoughts to what we have, what we can be, and where we are going with clarity. Thank you very much. The DG has welcomed everyone, but I want to welcome and salute all present here, and also to thank God Almighty that this is happening in our days, in our time, for a purpose that will be fulfilled, because God's purpose can never be reversed. So looking at the topic, Lagos and Nigeria, 2030, projections of a world power, to be presented, dissected, and looked at by a techno-politician. I call Mr. Governor a techno-politician because when you look at his career pathway and the experiences that God had allowed him to pass through, God has prepared him. I studied carefully the experiences he has passed through in his education, in his work career. Every inch of it is directing towards projections of a world power, beginning from Lagos. This is the time where Nigerians should begin to see Lagos as it is, It belongs to all of us. I'm from Delta. My husband is from Ondo, but I like Lagos and I feel Lagos. Lagos remains the most secure place in Nigeria. I say it with all confidence. Up till this moment, I can go out at 2 a.m. Can't you? That's what it is. And this is something we must be proudly speaking about, because without security, there's no world power. Under your leadership, with all the security problems that comes across the nations of Nigeria, Lagos remains secured. Don't forget the challenges of the location of Lagos. The port challenges, the riverine challenges, the land challenges, the air challenges, the neighborhood challenges. In spite of that, Lagos is secured, ready to be a world power more than ever before. We thank God and we thank you and your team for making it a priority to make development happen. There can be no development without security. Let's not deceive ourselves. There cannot be. There cannot be. So today, let us be ready. Open up our mind. Depoliticize your mind, because Nigerian minds are very politicized. So, yeah, I mean it, and I'm saying it from experience. They make up their mind what they want to believe before they hear somebody. You've done damage to yourself. Hear, receive it, think about it, see what your role is and how you can gain from it. So depoliticize your mind. Listen today to a techno-politician, as I believe we will pass through key areas that will be talking about economic growth and industrialization. Where are we going in 2030? I haven't seen his paper, but I believe. Listening to him severally, he has capacity to discuss the technological innovation that is coming to transform us into 2030. He has the capacity to look at the geopolitics and diplomacy. He's a great politician, you know. Governor, you are a great politician, but we go forth with a humble approach, but with authority, not letting down the heart, not letting down your mind, not letting down your guts, and focusing on what needs to be done for the projections of a world power beginning from Lagos. We are going to be focused, and we are going to get there. Then, partners will stretch their hands at you. Partners don't stretch their hands at arrogant people. Partners don't stretch their hands at people without knowledge. Partners don't stretch. This room will be bombarded with so much, because we can't do it alone. If God knew Nigeria, Lagos could do it alone, he will not create Benin. He will not create UK. If God knew UK and USA can do it alone, he will not create Nigeria. We met these countries created. If you like, you say one person pronounce it as Nigeria, but it is created. Today, we need creative minds to listen and to join hands with the leadership of Lagos State under Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. We need everyone to join hands with his leadership. In joining hands with him, we are making sure that we win the race of the projections of a world power, that we believe that Lagos is a world power, that Lagos becomes a fulcrum around which every other state, whether they like it or not, they have just to accept it. In accepting it, they become. You cannot become without acceptance. And then when they become, Nigeria now becomes, because there has to be a driver. How many people can sit on the driver's seat at a time? And so you only one. How many people can sit on the captain's seat in the aircraft? Can the co-pilot control the rate at which the flight is going up? He can help. We need the help of everyone to co-pilot as Lagos takes